Welcome back to Railroads Online. I'm River. We are here right where we left off pretty much. I did do a little bit of straightening. I noticed some while I was standing down here preparing myself. And I also put a row here so when you get out of the train, you're not falling off the side of the hill that we created. It's kind of I imagine this would become like a stagnated pool of water in real life, right? You really wouldn't want to leave that there like that just because of that reason alone. But this isn't real life, and there is no weather in the mighty world of Railroads Online. So, yeah, and see things like this. I'm just noticing this. That's a little ugliness. Just been going around, and general statement going around and fixing those. Kind of a pain when you have hills. Probably better to do all this stuff before, not hills, but when your track is at a different height. That'll be good enough. So a lot of it's just cosmetic anyway. So, but hey, we want it to look nice. All right. So what is on the plan for today? We need to take this cordwood down to the smelter. And I was looking at my list because one of my lists of the track issues that we had. And remember, it's been a while now for me in real life since I hauled cordwood because I was doing a bunch of other hauling since I had brought that cordwood up there. And you know what? Let's get some firewood. Now that we got our fancy firewood thing here. And I had fix the track into the cordwood, right? Which is what we did in the last episode. And I also have into the smelter. And I think that there's an issue with the tightness of the track, if I'm remembering right. We might need to end up redoing that. Let's see if we can make it in there fine with our 6 rail cars. But I think I was having some small issues. I don't think it derailed me, but it's on my list of things to fix. Let's put it that way. But I think we're going to be all right with our switches as we get up to... Oh, let me give it a little bit of break just so we don't go down this hill too fast. So I think we're going to be fine with our switches through the sawmill. So I'm going to be quiet and let us, enjoy the ride over there. And then we'll come back and we'll see how we make it into the smelter. Let's turn the brake off. All right. Talk to you in a minute when the noise... I did turn the noise level down, by the way, so... Looking like a proper railroad through here almost, huh? Trees cut back and the gravel all done. Makes me smile. All right, I guess we could probably talk pretty much the rest of the way, because I think we're mostly done with the loud engine. And like I said, what I mean is I keep turning the darn volume down, because every time I record an episode, it's sort of after the fact that I go back and process it. And I actually probably watch less of it than you guys do. Just because, if you could imagine, I've already lived it. I know what's coming. It's not like the episode is new to me. And, well, I don't... Unlike some people who don't like their voice, I don't mind watching my own videos. Just, I don't usually watch repeat YouTube videos of anyone. But in any event, I do try to listen, and I've been turning it down, and I can also control it on the recording software. I've been trying to turn that down, but I think part of the problem is if you notice, all the other noises are going to be a lot less noticeable. So I've been trying to find a happy spot for everybody, and I think one of the solutions is just to be a little bit more quiet. By the way, see that vibration? That's the vibration. You don't want to go a lot faster when you start seeing that, because that's when you're going to start derailing, when that car starts kicking like that. I'm not too worried because I know I'm not going to pick up speed. I've come down that hill enough. All right, so into Smelter, and I'm pretty sure... that we didn't have any problem coming down that hill, and that's pretty straight. This is what I meant. Oop, I don't want to do brake. I want to do. As a matter of fact, even then, I want to let's go up and stop here. This switch is okay. I want to be able to go right on through and in, because I think the problem, if I'm remembering, is near this switch. Right in this area. But it looks fine, but it was, maybe the whole thing is just too tight is what I'm thinking, because that is an awful tight turn. See that? I mean, that's as tight as you really want to get. And so I think, unfortunately, to fix this, we need to move probably further away and maybe like over to where this tree is. And then the other thing I think I want to talk about is the leveling. I don't mind that switch is on the uphill, but that does make it more difficult. And I just want to make sure we have a nice... what am I doing? Running around like a chicken. His head cut off. All right, we don't want to go this way. We want to go this way. All right, but then this one is the right way. Okay, so we should be able to come right on in and go right on in there. And you know what? Why don't we change these too while we're thinking about it? Because we left the rail cars. I should have a rule of thumb. Would be one of those courtesy things if you're on the multiplayer. You should flip this if you're going to leave cars in there. Because the assumption would be that you're not coming back for these, I guess. Especially I knew I wasn't going to come back for those. I knew I was going down to get cordwood, so I could have left this for myself a little better. You know what? I was wondering about this, and yeah, this works out well. I was wondering if I would have enough space to leave 6 cars where my cordwood is, but that's no problem, right? So if we, for some reason, want to leave the cars up here, and we could do our little snafu here, or switcheroo. Nope, not snafu, that's a bad thing. Switcheroo, that's different. Oh, and you know what we want to do while we're here? This didn't work. I forgot to write that on my list, but... I guess I can leave. No, I don't want that. Let's just do a level kind of thing, and then we'll move it over. All right, we'll come here. What I was wondering is, I don't really want to go too much further back. I would like to put this right where we bump into it each time. That's not what I want. This menu needs a little bit of work. Kind of missed, didn't I? All right, so can we put... We can't place it. The problem I had, and the reason we had the backwards, is because I couldn't place it here, right? They won't let me... But will it let me do... like this? Because somebody talked... Yeah, look at that. That's perfect. Well, Somebody talked about, yeah, placing tracks straight on through. Well, that's a little higher than I needed. That's probably good, right? Yeah, they talked about that. Now, what I would do, if it lets me place that, right, and then it'll let me place. Yeah, that's. I don't want to go too close. Yeah, somebody talked about placing tracks right through there or something right through there. I can demolish this so it doesn't look horrible. Yeah, look at that. That's reasonably nice. But my tracks kind of run out on gravel on the other side. Nobody's ever going to look over there. There we go. That's an improvement. As long as we can get far enough back. And if we can't, I can always... Because I'd like to be able to get 3 cars in there, and it's a little tight. So hopefully that's a thing. All right, so our switches are right. Oh, by the way, I think that is my mouse. I was blaming that on the game. Because every once in a while, my mouse shoots over to like the corner of the screen when I wasn't, or just once really, I caught it shooting over to the corner of the screen. But you know what? That's probably not the fault of the game. I don't know. I have a mouse pad, and I'm not doing anything particularly energetic at that moment, so I don't know why the mouse would do that. But we'll see. All right, so let's see if we can't make it around this without having to rebuild this whole thing. Let's see what I was talking about when I wrote that on my list that I had at least probably a week ago. And then went on to many other more important things in my life, you know. Let's keep an eye on the cars. Yeah, see how they're just... That's as tight as you get. There you go. That's what I was talking about, that bumping. Yeah. So we made some improvements down here. And, well, we made it through it. But I'm really not liking that bumping. I think I want to redo it anyway. Just to make it a little bit less of a sharp turn. Because we really came through there slow. And it's making me nervous if we went through quick. But let's unload this thing first. And we'll spin around and... come back up, and it's going to be a good amount of work, but I think I just would like to correct a couple things over there. Right, so we need to pull past here, and with all these trees, probably not going to be able to see the... Cut back some, maybe we'll be able to see it, where the switch is. Up a lot of speed there. No. Let's cut some trees. Oh wait. Did we even go far enough? Oh yeah, barely. Okay. As long as I can see this. Yeah, that should be good. And then let's get a few of them. Let's get a few of them along the back here, just so that so they don't block the camera when I'm turning around to look. Yeah, I have oh, I didn't switch the switch after all that. Okay. Yeah, I think the best thing to do is just to back in all 6 cars, unload the 3. We'll pull those 3 back out, and then we'll send them down this way, drop them off for a minute, and then take the 3 back in here. Yeah, it's because there really wouldn't have been any benefit to dropping the 3 cars first, I don't think. Reverser. If anybody has a better idea of how to do this. I mean, I guess we could think about cutting through like other people, but I don't know. I think they did this deliberately. I mean, things should be a challenge, just like the iron mine where you drop off is a bit of a pain, where they only have the one drop off location. And I think I might want to cut a few more of these trees so we can see at a better angle there. At least we have a few bucks these days. The iron ore carts, where you don't get that much. What is it, 14 for the iron ore? Yeah, let's just see what happens if we back right into that thing. Is that the exact right location? I guess it's pretty gentle. Okay, you know what, let's cut those trees since I'm standing right here. Those trees probably would have never survived bridge construction in real life, you wouldn't think. Somebody would have cut them down. Alright, so let's go see. Can we unload all three if we just back into that? That would be kind of ideal. And if we can't, we may redo it so that we can. Let's see, we'll take our chances. Worst we lose is a load of cordwood. How much do we have? Nothing. Okay. As long as we see some going in, that will. Right. Yeah, no, it counts. So even if we pulled a little bit forward, that wouldn't break my heart. How's our money? This is why we're doing it to move our economy forward, which is a lot of work when you're one person. All right, there we go. So we'll be up over $1,000. That doesn't hurt. All right, and we should be making more stuff because we needed more cordwood. I think we had a little bit of iron ore, but we should have started it up for another, I think it was 10 iron ore. And now we have to pull forward and then back in the other way. Drop off three of those cars. Get the other three in. We're getting there. We're building up a little thing, aren't we? It's been a while. And you know, read the Steam forums at times. Probably shouldn't read the Steam forums. There's a lot of complaining people in the Steam forums, but I'm a little bit amazed at the people complaining about having to build track. I mean, that is... Derail Valley is a wonderful train game, and I played it for quite a few hours. And you can drive trains and to your heart's content all over the map. I do wish they had a little more of a economy like this. Like I love this economy. This gives me something to do, you know, beyond just driving the trains. Where I know that they have money in the Derail Valley, but I do wish it was an economy kind of based thing, which I don't think they're going to do. But in any event, like that, the building of the tracks is, even though, you know, I might complain about, oh, this track up here is, you know, we're going to have to rebuild that whole thing. It's like, guess what I'm doing? You know, like, I'm rebuilding the whole thing. I'm not out playing baseball or football or something. I'm doing exactly the thing I'm griping about. Like, that makes sense. It's kind of fun to me at that point. Let's make sure we're far enough back. Yeah, don't want to back into them. Let's put on probably should have put the brake on first, just for safety's sake. I'll just put this one brake on. That we're on level ground. I don't see it going. They're not going to get out of here, right? They would have to go uphill to get out of this yard. So there's only so far we would have to go to capture those. They were showing a rail car system. I had watched it years ago. I wish I knew where it was. Somewhere like in the middle of the United States, where they're like they capture the cars. They just use gravity. Like the whole yard is like sloped, like just sort of the right amount that they like back the, just like, it's like, will this work? Let's go another foot forward. Oh, geez, stuck on that thing. They just drop each one. It's like all computer controlled, like the computer. I mean, there's a guy sitting there watching it, making sure it doesn't mess up, but you know, it's all computer, like tells it which way to switch all the cars, and it just like this huge yard, and it just like releases each one, like releases each car as it goes, which is pretty cool. I guess I forget. I guess they had to break the cars apart, and then like kind of, so in a sense they're all stacked there, like, and then there's brakes on the thing that like clamps the wheels or stops the car as it comes up. All right, reverse. Little juice. We're running out of juice, so we'll have to get more. Oop. Yeah, we need to get more juice, don't we? I'd like to take advantage of our, excuse me, our fire temperature being up and just let it go all the way back down. Saves you some firewood. You could definitely make it go a lot longer. It seems kind of hokey to me, though, that you would drive around so much without fuel in there. Right? Like, I don't know. Does it really work that way? Like, seems like it's, I guess you could call it a bit cheaty. Slow down a little bit. I can see the shadow actually helps the most. Here, see that shadow? See, we're still a couple feet away. Let's see if that's a good spot to unload. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. It's going up. Yeah. There's no doubt about this one. Yeah, that's actually a really good place to stop. I may put a marker there. Oh, and you know what? I got a comment. Let's take a look at this. Options, graphics, I would assume. Foliage. Yeah, you know what? Let's put it on medium. That doesn't. I probably should have saved it, huh? Let's see. Here, you know what? Let's go back and save game. Yeah, save. Back. Options. Graphics. Low. I wonder if it... Oh, there we go. Well, you know... Part of me doesn't like it, but there's another part of me that does. All right, so that's a really good spot to stop for this, even though I probably could figure that out. Maybe we'll work that out for the next ones too. Yeah, let me know. Let's take a look at what this low foliage. I'm not sure that I like it that much, but the medium, I didn't really see a big difference. Maybe we go back to the medium. Yeah, it's kind of naked. I mean, it's fine. It might be better for the recordings, to be honest with you, too. As far as, you know, the more stuff going on, I've noticed with these kind of recordings, the more RAM it takes up. And I did see a couple times, especially with the sound of the cutting trees, seem to cause some stuttering in the videos, and this is the kind of thing that will cut down on that. Will, you know, because it's just not processing nearly as much. It's certainly cleaner looking, like somebody got out there and cut the grass, which is good. something else annoyed me. Let's yeah, look at all that mess. Should all be level, so they shouldn't be too hard to replace. That one's not at the same level. Yeah, we'll do. Spin around. I haven't been pay. Man, I think that'll look nice. This guy's kind of in the way here, but I think we can get. Let's get it started back here. All right, we'll come to a spot. Yeah, like it's not going to work too well. We need to be in there. Let's get on the other end. That's what we'll do. Do this one first, and then just fill in that little spot there. While I fight the train, because we can. I think we can. But we don't even need to be under the train, right? So we'll start here. Loop it into about there. Get under there enough to blend it. Oh, yeah. There should just be this one dumb spot here, right? Hardly worth filling, but since we're... There we go. All right, so now we got to go back, get these rail cars switched. Oh, I guess we need to delete this. And do we have an ugliness over here I left? Yeah, so that's what I've been doing too. As you know, if you do notice areas are improved as I work in them and I see those spots annoying me, I'll jump in and I'll fix it. Depends on the mood of whether I feel like fixing it or train driving still, but you'll notice the areas that I've stopped in will tend to get the most TLC rather than making it some massive project that'll take me 6 hours. We'll just slowly but surely improve it. So in other words, eventually I'll be picking up stuff like the rail. We'll fix the other side of this area. I'm actually kind of excited about getting this rail here. I think we're about to fix this junction coming in. I think that's one of the more challenging rail situations that we can do. Right. Oh, let's make sure. Yeah, what happened there? I don't think I disconnected it. It's almost like the link bumped into it and the link went with the old one. Yeah, that's just hitting it too hard, and then the other one has momentum. So let's just give it like really light. Yeah, just enough to go backwards. There we go. All right, I'm going to throw on the brakes very gently. Next one up, right? There we go. This brake should be the only one. There, well, that wasn't too bad. Was that a half hour to take the trip? Hey, we don't want to mess with that. And we got some more wood in. And while we're going around here, I do want to take a look at how much, so we get an idea. How much steel? We should have about 100. Like, oh, not steel, iron. Oh. Got to pay the piper eventually. Yeah, we still got 92. That should be enough to get us to where we need to go. Even if it's not real fast. Yeah, all the cars seem to be coming with us. And I didn't look. How many do we have? I think I'm going to need to take another trip, right? because that could be the test trip. Now that is a half hour to redo this one junction. I hope so. We'll just see if we can do to. It's as much a challenge as anything else. I don't like the way they skip in there, and I think it was, from what I'm remembering, it was a lot closer to derailing. We came in so slow that, and it was still close to derailing. We should have a good amount of. So I don't want to overflow the thing. Though somebody did make a comment. I don't know if that's true. There we go. So we got 90 rails, and so we're ready to go. Need maybe even like right here. See if we can get away with not redoing all of this turn. But no promises. It's a waste of firewood, huh? Yeah, so how are we going to... The only way to make it less sharp is either to move it... It's really to move it out this way and down, right? So let's see if we can't... I want to leave it there for perspective, right? But we can get rid of like this track so we can, right, that track can come in. And I don't want to make this one, but we can make a wider swing. If we do that, the problem will be, yeah, really I think the thing to do is just to move it over this way a little bit, like maybe, like I said, over where this tree is, because then then we just have more room to make that turn coming in. All right, so how are we going to do this? Let me go here. All right. Yep. You know what I want? Let's make sure I have constant grade. Yeah, now I'm going to call them all the way up to here. We might end up redoing a lot. All right, so we're going to come up to here. One thing I want to do is pick a grade that's going to be good. Yeah, see, that's... Is that going to be too far down for over there? All right, let's just put that there as a... Like at some point, I think I need to, let's just delete all of this. There's a lot of, you can tell we worked on that a lot, huh? Let's delete all of this and say, that is definitely uphill. Now let's see, can we do a level thing? Is that, did I delete? Let's just, let's just say if we did a level thing from here, does that? Yeah, you know what? I don't like that. I want to, just that fast we got rid of that, huh? Yeah, I want to come from, like, say right here. We're talking about a massive rebuild. All right, I want that to be the height. Let's just put that there and delete all of this. All right, there's no reason we can't bring this guy. This guy doesn't have to be on the uphill. I mean, it does, but it's not. Oh, that was a big one. Like, we can slope this guy up to there. It's really difficult to delete those. And I didn't really mean to go all the way back this far, but I think this is all on the level, right? So I want to slope it up so that that road matches this height here when we get into that switch, so that there's just no doubt not that that's going to be, make a lot of little sections so we could delete them, right? Because I know that's not right. All right, so we're going to have that switch. We'll assume we're going to come around. Where's behind me? Yeah, we're going to come around about the same, so all right, that would all be level coming into the switch that goes this way, or the track that's going to go this way. So that track, yeah, let's get rid of this. And then let's need to bring that level. Let me bring the level down along the one side. Yeah, not that far. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring it, what I'm thinking of is bring it here. Bring it like here, and then can't really see. Yeah. All right, is this one real long? Yeah. Let's see, did I accomplish anything, or did I just delete every single thing that I just wanted to accomplish? I think I turned this the right direction, I suppose, but we're close to it. All right, let's go. All right, so we got plenty of extra. Let's just make that look a little better since it's. So this was just a guide, so we can get rid of this. And then we need to swing this wider towards that tree right there. But at a certain point, where about that guide was, we'll start going downhill. So let's go back a little bit more. All right, so we come off of the Y right here. Turning. We're turning. All right, and so that will be our turn and our Y. All on the nice level. I think that'll work out pretty well. To the left, on the right. Yeah, so I don't know if there's a big benefit to that extra long swing that way. All right. And then this, is that going to be too much? Yeah, see, this is. Look at all that mess. Is this any of this level? This is level here. So what I'm thinking of is, do we hold, will that be too much? To try to make that level down to there. So let's do constant. It's nice to have enough money just to cut down trees if they're starting to annoy you. Alright, so that makes that much wider. That means that's way off. Yeah, do we just go up that hill this way? Which would make... So what do we want? To the right? On the right, I guess. Maybe like that. Now let's see what the turn looks like. We'll lay this turn out first. This is the most critical, and then we'll do... Yeah, it's pretty steep, pretty sharp right there. What do we think? Is that less? It gets a little sharp right there, but I just wanted to run that out. Yeah, look, I don't like the way that swoops down into there from too steep to immediate, you know. So I would say we did a 2 grade with that. Right, and then let's do make this just plenty wide so we have room to work. We'll deal with the consequences of our placement later. Yeah, see, so that's going to be a little bit better. So we want to turn to the right with the thing on the right. All right, maybe a little bit more like this. That look. Can we go right to that? Yeah, maybe. Might have to redo the turn, but that's okay. Nah, I think that'll be. I don't know, it doesn't seem too bad to me. Let's go ahead and just fix it so it looks nice right off the bat so I don't forget. No, that's not going to get it. I was trying to avoid all the change in grades. Yeah, I think maybe I could just do. Right, that looks better. Well, it's certainly a wider turn. I don't... Why does it do that at the end here? We'll see if that causes a problem. And we're definitely facing that way more. So the next problem is, do we just do one of these numbers, which I really don't like to do because I can't see this. The switches get confusing from a distance. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want to, like, if I put the other switch like back to back with this one, it gets impossible to see. You know what, I'll leave this. Oh, it didn't let me click there. Yeah, let's get rid of this stuff because it's going to be in the way in this track. All right, so I don't want this to be back to back. So I want to put like a good 10-foot section of rail in there, even if that costs us the way it looks. One of the ways we could get away with this would be to, all right, put these back to back. Now we want to switch to the left with the thing on the right, I think. All right, how's that look? Good, except for, oh, I don't want to delete. Good, except we're way off. How are we doing on time? We still have a bit. I don't know if we're going to get all this done in an hour, or the half hour that we had. Go a little bit over. See, I hate when that. I'll just bring it to right here. See, that's why I brought the train all the way back there. But I'm not sure, do these affect the... We'll clean this up later. We'll leave that one there. That's part of our problem, all those little tiny pieces, huh? Yeah, so this one's going to be the next biggest issue. The only thing we have going for us is that we have a lot of distance this way. All right, so we should be able to come at, you know, like loop it around if we have to, and I don't think I really did that very well. But let's see. Yeah, I think I needed to leave it. Yeah, I cut the corner too fast because we need a little straight section out of here. That's all right. We'll just do it again. So you want to go a little bit straighter. I think the turn overall wasn't too bad, and that little bit straighter is exactly what's going to make us look like we're swoop-de-dooping. I'll leave that one there until we get, so I have a little more flexibility in the turn. But yeah, it's a lot broader turn. I think we're going to be okay. I hope. No, I missed. Darn it. I missed. But I think we did pretty well through that. Let's do a nice little short section. Yeah, start that turn a little bit sooner. What? Yeah, it's not like I can move the smelter, huh? We could try to move the track up. All right, but it's really not that bad, I think. I think that'll be better. Now we got to deal with this real quick. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a mess. You know what? As a matter of fact, that actually might be a good thing. Yeah, I'm going to try something. This is always hit or miss. Well, that seems... Yeah, that's actually kind of a good thing because we'll come around this turn and make it a little bit... You know, we've made this turn a little bit less sharp, I think. I don't know if that's true or not. But I think we're going to have to call it. Well, what time? Let's see. Hold on one second. Can't see my timer. Oh, we got. What did I do? What was that? All right. So what we need to do, I think we have a little time. I'm getting too anxious. All right. So this is going to be that, and I want to. Not sure how well this looks behind me, but it looks pretty good in front of me. No, that's... Well, wait, we can... Let's just see how this goes. I don't know. Didn't seem too bad. All right, so now we have to get up to here with this turn. It is overhanging in the air a bit, so let's where does it start going in the air? Right about there. What? Really see. Need to go a little bit straight. Oh, I don't want this. I want to get rid of that first. Start here again. Go to there. Probably have deleted all that junk underneath of there, huh? Would have been smart. How's that look? Pretty reasonable. Certainly a big switch right there. I hope that doesn't... See what I mean? Like this gravel. I don't think it's going to cause a problem. It just... I don't know. I'm kind of liking it. Tell me that's not a complicated rail build. Yeah. A little dippy-do down here, though, huh? Yeah, yeah, I don't like that. Gosh darn it. So for all of that, right, we're going to demolish. We're going to have to redo it, but that's just the matter of the slope. I do like it, as long as we can repeat what we just did. And I don't like the height difference there. It's too sharp. All right, let's see if that's... if I did anything different. Yeah, that's a little... no, it's not better. It's just the same. I think the problem is this has to come out level further. Right? And then take a slighter... take a longer, slighter slope. So let's just do that first. This, what's happening is I'm watching the hour creep up. All right, so yeah, let's do this, and then we're gonna do like 1, 2. Yeah, we're at variable grade, and then we're gonna do like 3, 4. Is that the slope we're at anyway? And then we'll do... can we gotta just redo it. Always redo it. Don't question. Redo. No, we'll come from... working out pretty well coming from down here. Just have to swing it out towards the outside of that turn, and I think we're... yeah, that definitely looks more gradual. Which I think I just redid the same thing the last time, unfortunately. Yeah, I made a nice turn with the gravel. I think that's making this a lot easier to just follow that around and get to the right spot. Yep, there we go. I mean, it's still not perfect, but it's a lot less than it was. There's still a little bit of a dip and a hump, but I think we'll live with that for the moment anyway. All right, so now let's go do some constant grade. I think there's 2 of those. And we'll start out over here somewhere. Yeah, we'll do a constant grade. Actually, probably after we get past that, right? Yeah, we'll do a new constant grade. It's not too bad. Coming halfway across the map. Yeah, let me end up with the same thing here. Cut some trees down. Yeah, let's bring it. Let's take a look. Bring it straight like that. Yeah, it looks pretty reasonable. I just wanted to make sure we weren't like cutting into the ground or something. And then let's just do a level bit. Yeah, except for this. Which we don't even need. I think we're going to have to come back and clean it up in the next episode and test it. And I'm sure there's tougher challenges as far as laying the track goes, but there you go. That's a heck of a thing. Look at the way that thing splits off, goes two different directions. Yeah, I think that's still not. That's pretty straight, isn't it? Can we just get rid of that without causing? Like I might be able to just go like from there to there. Yeah, look at that. I'm getting better at it. I took that hump right out of there. Good. Well, there you go, guys. I ran out of time, but I hope this helps some of you. I know I've gotten some compliments as far as, thank you for showing the building of the track, and this is about as involved as it gets. And this is why when people say, well, you can't build the track, you don't have the proper tools, I say, well, look at this. Sure, tools, it would be a little bit easier, but you can do it. You just have to have persistence. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have plenty of persistence today and not so much frustration. And we'll come back and straighten it out, make it look even better. And as we work out the details here, I like it. It's coming together. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the likes and subscriptions. I definitely appreciate it. It gets, lets me know that you guys appreciate it, and that means a lot. So thank you. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.